This video, I'm going to talk about the biggest misconceptions, the biggest lies about relationships, and they're so fucking prevalent that they're just everywhere. You see it in every TV show, you see it in every conversation, you see it in every couple, in every restaurant, you see it in every couple that you go hang out with, and you don't even see them. They're right underneath the surface, right before your eyes, and you have no idea it's happening. So we're playing this game where we're going after what we think we want, but it doesn't actually work in reality. Because it's not working in reality, we double down on that thinking that it'll eventually fucking work, and it won't. Because you're approaching the relationship, and you're approaching your woman, and you're approaching yourself in the wrong way. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about the lies, the misconceptions in a relationship, the way you interact with your wife, that if you can stop doing this, if you can root these out, you'll have a very seductive relationship. In fact, she will come to you more often. She will start to initiate more of the affection. She will start to initiate more of the sex, which as a man, I know that's what you want. I know that's what I want in my relationship. There was a point in time where I was always chasing after my wife for sex. And I was chasing after my ex-wife too. And I was like, why isn't this working? Why is it that, like, at best I get it twice a month? And I'm chasing after, it's like, I feel like I'm rejected. I feel like she doesn't really want me. I feel like I'm only there for as a paycheck. So what's actually happening here? And I didn't realize that it was the way that I was presenting myself was killing the attraction for her. I wasn't coming off as a powerful, strong guy. I wasn't demonstrating power, which is the thing she wants to see from you. Just like you looking at your wife, you want to see her beauty. You want to see her curves. You want to see her sexiness. And she wants to see this demonstrations of power. But men are not told this. We're told, be nice, give her gifts. Now, if you're not nice to her, then obviously she's going to not feel safe with you, so she's not going to want to be with you anyway. But the whole point of this is most men are not demonstrating enough power. We're going to get into the different areas, the biggest lies about relationships in this video. My name is Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men. Tens of thousands of men have come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. Lie number one. Love is unconditional. Nope. Make no mistake, you're with your woman in a conditional arrangement. 1,000%. How do I know this? Why did you pick her? Was she pretty? Did she just give you time and attention? If she just gave you time and attention, that's still a condition. See, love is conditional. Romantic love is 100% conditional. If you look at a woman and you're saying, okay, she's attractive, I want to be with her, that's a condition. If your wife is looking at you and saying, hey, I need you to connect with me more, that's a condition. Romantic love is 100% conditional. You know what's unconditional is the love for your children. Like, that's unconditional. And the love of God, that's unconditional. And so what we're seeing here is that's a different kind of love. That's a spiritual love. And so the problem with relationships is we conflate the two. We think that this conditional arrangement should be unconditional. And so this is why when a guy gets with his wife, and she's beautiful, and she's thin, and then he gets married, and she stops taking care of herself, and she gets overweight, and she stops taking care of her hair, she chops it all off, and she doesn't wear makeup anymore, and doesn't put the kind of clothes on, and she doesn't go after him for sex anymore. He's like, this is a bait and switch. This is not what the fuck I signed up for. And then she'll justify it with like, well, I had kids, and all these things are happening, and all this stuff. And these are just excuses for not doing the thing that is required of her in the relationship, because she went into this relationship with this requirement. She told him, this is what you're getting. And then she flipped the script on him and said, I'm not going to give that to you anymore. And now he's upset. Why? Because the conditions aren't there anymore. And then she tries to conflate it. She tries to gaslight it, saying, no, you should love me anyway. It's unconditional love. It's like, hold on a fucking minute. We didn't have that arrangement. It's just like the guy loses his job. The guy loses his job, and he starts becoming depressed. And I can guarantee you within 6 to 9 months, she's going to leave his ass. Why? Because the conditions were, I need you to provide for this family. I need you to give security to this family. I need you to rise up and be the leader and be the dominant man that I know that you can be. And when you get depressed in yourself and you start believing in yourself, then I lose belief in you as well. And so she will feel like a bait and switch. And she's like, I'm not going down with this fucking ship. I'm taking the kids to grandma's house, and we're going to let you sink on your own. Maybe you'll fucking figure this shit out, but we're not all going down with you. And this happens all the time. So the biggest misconception in a relationship is that love is unconditional. Not a romantic relationship, it is not. And you will never get there. And when you try to tell your partner that they should love you unconditionally because of all the bullshit you're doing, all you're doing is you're asking your partner to look past all your bullshit and love you anyway. in which they want to do that, but they can't because they look at you and they're like, you're just making fucking excuses and you're putting it on me for not doing what's required of yourself. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a man. The game is the fucking same in this way. And people do this all the time. They look at their partner saying, you should just love me for who I am, and they stop doing what's required for the relationship. Well, we're married now. We can rely on our commitments. Under God, the commitments. Yeah, well, you just lied to your partner. You just did a bait and switch on your partner that you're not the person you said you were going to be in that relationship. You stop being that person. And it's just like, I can stop being that person. I can stop meeting the requirements of this relationship. And you should stay with me because we're married under God. That is a lie. That is a huge bait and switch. That's a huge gaslight on your partner. And if you're doing that to your partner, shame on you. You should not do that. If you come into this relationship being a certain way, you need to maintain that moving forward or have a discussion with your partner on how to change things around. Change the agreement in something that you both agree upon. But when you come in there and you say, well, you should love me anyway, you are doing a disservice to both of you. And it's not sustainable. And the other person, like the guy who's depressed, he'll try to be what this woman wants. He'll try to do it, but he won't understand the game. He won't understand the game because he realizes he's like, she should just love me forever. So I can just sit in this pit and start acting like an idiot for longer and longer and longer. And then when she finally leaves his ass, then he's like, I got to make a change. Oh, I guess she was serious. It's like, dude, I think it's too late at this point. So the first lie is that romantic love is unconditional, and it is not. The second lie is if you're just really nice to your wife, she'll love you and be happy forever. Now, when a woman says, I want a nice man, she wants a man who will treat her well. She doesn't want a man who will sacrifice his own personal well-being to make her happy, to put her on a pedestal and worship her forever. Now, it might sound great for a while. She's like, oh, wow, this is nice against all the assholes I've dated. This guy's giving me a lot of attention. But then very soon afterwards, in a few weeks or a couple of months, she's going to say, this guy doesn't really have any backbone. This guy's not demonstrating any power. I don't really want to be with this guy. How can I learn? He's not going to lead me anywhere. He's not setting the example for the family. He's not setting the stage of where we're going and what we're doing. Because all he's doing is he's just putting his head up my ass and going wherever I want to go. So in effect, I'm the leader of this relationship because he's so nice. And he's a nice guy, and I feel bad thinking about this, that he's just not sexy, but that's just where I'm at, so I don't know what to do. And so this is where the relationship is like the guy's being too nice. It's not that he's not nice. It's not that he's not a good person. It's just that he has no backbone. It's just that he's apologetic for who he is. It's just that he can't stand for anything, and he can't tell her no. And so oftentimes these guys get manipulated by the women very easily because all she has to do is be unhappy. All she has to do is not be in the mood for sex. All she has to do is insert the blank, and then he's like, oh, I better do something. I better jump to it to make her happy again, because he falsely thinks that if he makes her happy, she'll love him forever and want to have sex with him forever, which isn't true. The woman only wants a guy to be nice to her and to care for her in such a manner if she's very attracted to him. If she's not attracted to you, then it doesn't matter how nice you are to her, it's just not what she wants. I hear a woman say this all the time. I just wish I had a man who was nice to me. And this guy over here is like, well, I'm nice. And she's like, yeah, but I don't find you attractive, so it doesn't matter. And so on the back side of this, it's always that thing of, by a man I already find attractive. It's better for you to be able to assert power and dominance in your life than it is to be nice all the time. It's much more important for you to stand up for who you are, even if you're a jerk at times, than it is to be 100% nice all the time. You're going to have some people not like you. In fact, that's just the name of the game. Not everybody likes everybody. The sooner you learn to be unapologetically yourself, but temper it with heart and humility, and be unapologetic on who that motherfucker is, you'll find that your game and your attractiveness level with women will go up significantly. Most guys are too afraid of this. They're so afraid that she'll see him as a loser, which then invalidates the fact that he feels like he's a loser already. So he puts this mask on to pretend that he's different than he is. And when he puts this mask on, pretending to be different than he is, he attracts a different kind of woman. Because he's being manipulative, he attracts a manipulative woman. She's playing the same game. And because she's more intuitive than you are, she usually rocks your boat and you get slaughtered. And so lie number 2 is being nice will not make her happy. Lie number 3 is she'll never leave you if you love her enough. No, it's not about how much you love her that she won't leave you. It's how much she loves you where she won't leave you. So how much you love her is irrelevant in the conversation. Whitney Houston says it, right? I want to dance with somebody. I want somebody to love me. She's not talking about just anybody, a man she already finds attractive. And so it's not about you. All these guys go out there, it's like, oh, I love her so much. Who gives a shit? From her perspective, how much you love her doesn't mean anything unless she loves you first. If she loves you first, then you loving her is amazing to her. But if you love her and she doesn't give a shit, she doesn't find you attractive, then your love is meaningless. And then you just become this guy that she's either trying to push away and give you hints to like, hey, he needs to get the picture. Like, I'm not into him. He needs to move on and find somebody else. Or she'll be one of these people that will leverage that and manipulate you into paying for her bills, buying her tires for her car, helping her with her children. And you don't want to be that guy, because now you're not really in a relationship. You're just being fucking exploited. And so this makes you vulnerable when you act like this. Your love only matters if she loves you first. And the thing is that you're like, well, I'm going to die on the sword and be a martyr. I'll just love her through it anyway. Cool. You're just sacrificing yourself for nobody. You're sacrificing yourself for your own ego, which is not giving you what you want. You just want to be a martyr and just play victim. And you can keep doing that if you want, but it's a lot more powerful for you to actually decide that you matter and go after somebody who actually treats you well and somebody who actually likes you. And so this game of, if I just love her enough, she'll change. If I just love her enough, she'll go to rehab. If I just love her enough, she'll see that her drinking's a problem. If I just love her through all her bullshit and her emotional outbursts, she'll finally see the light and change. No, she won't. People treat you how you train them to treat you. If you've got this woman in your life who's drinking too much, or she's got drug problems, or she's emotionally abusive, or she slaps you around, which happens a lot, and it's never reported. Women are hitting guys all the time thinking it's appropriate. It's not appropriate. Don't be hitting on dudes. Then what ends up happening is that you just enable the behavior. You're like, well, she'll finally see it. No, she won't. She's treating you like you're training her to treat you. What you tolerate, you encourage. And so again, love is not going to make her change. What will make her change is not putting up with the bullshit. Right? It's like the soft parenting approach for 3-year-olds. Okay, this is doing this thing. It's like the kid, 3, we can't reason with the 3-year-old. 3-year-old's only going to respond to power. And so like trying to reason with them and telling them and say, well, if the kid just sees how, it's just not going to work. And we all know. So again, loving her is not enough. She has to love you first. And that's the only time she'll stay with you forever. Line number 4, a good man puts everybody else first, and his needs are last. Now this sounds great, but the problem is a starving king consumes his kingdom. And so the guy, the man who is in charge of the relationship, or the man in the relationship, he has to be able to look at himself and be able to pour into himself. He has to say to himself that he matters as well. He can't be a martyr, just sacrifice himself to his kids and his wife and everybody else. Because that guy doesn't really have any power or agency. He's at the behest of everybody else's wants and needs. And oftentimes, all these people are enabled. He is becoming the crutch for all these people in his life, thinking that he's sacrificing himself for their betterment, and he's not. He's not teaching him how to fish. He's not teaching his wife to handle her own emotional state because he's holding the line and not putting up with like toxic behavior. He's not doing the things that are proper because he doesn't value himself. So when he's given all these things all the time, he doesn't care about himself. And he thinks that if he gives to everybody else, it'll make him feel like he's worthwhile in the world, and then that'll be reflected back, and those people will appreciate it. And then if they appreciate him, then he can finally say that he matters. And it's a very roundabout way of trying to get self-love. It just doesn't work. Now, you may be like, well, I like giving to people, and it's like, cool, awesome. Well, we just got to temper that a little bit to, 1, is it really even appropriate to be giving all the time? And 2, are you doing it in the right way? In other words, is it being appreciated? And most of the time, guys find that, 1, they're over-giving, hoping that they could get something from the woman, usually it's sex, or they're doing it in a way where it's not being appreciated, hoping that maybe one day they'll appreciate it, and it just doesn't work that way. Again, people treat you how you train them, and what you tolerate, you encourage. And so one of the biggest things that men have to learn to do in relationships and in dating is, 1, only give a little bit and see if it's appreciated first. If it's not appreciated, you don't give anymore. You see that you're dealing with a person who just is entitled, or they don't appreciate it, or they don't want to see it, or they're clueless to see it, and you shouldn't be given to those people. And so you have to be stingy for your resources. Men have to do that, I'm not saying they have to do this all the time, but they have to get better at this in general. So you putting everybody else first means that you, as the leader of the tribe, the leader of your family, means that there's nothing left for you. And you can't pour from an empty cup emotionally. And so part of this is like, I'm just going to sacrifice. But the only person who knows nobody winning in this game. You're just giving yourself to all these people, and usually you're enabling bad behavior, and then they don't appreciate you. And you're like, well, I'm just a giving kind of guy, and that's how it is, and I'm just going to feel down on myself. But I'm a good dude too, you know. It's like, oh, cool. You're a good giving kind of guy. That's great. but you got to give to yourself first. Once you start learning to give to yourself and you start filling yourself up, then you can start overflowing. And what that overflow is, you can now give onto other people. And then you will find that the quality is so much better, and they will respond better because now they're getting the best side of you. So lie number 4 is a good man puts everybody else first. Lie number 5, conflict means a relationship is failing. No, it doesn't. In fact, if you are unwilling to have a collision with your woman, if you're unwilling to have collisions with people in your life, you will get taken advantage of. Again, people treat you how you train them. So if you're unwilling to have a collision with your wife, thinking that she's going to leave you, then you know what? She's going to take advantage of that. And you're going to be like, well, my woman's a really nice person. Well, I guarantee you there are areas where she's taking advantage of you in this way, and she's looking at you with disrespect and resentment because you are unwilling to stand up for what you believe in. She needs you to be the guy who's willing to do this more than anybody else. And she may come into this relationship with you and see that you're not strong on your own opinions, or see that you're not strong and stand up to other people, or that you don't value yourself. And then every time you do this, she's going to say, yeah, this guy doesn't really value himself, which means that in relation to me, he's less than. And so you're not able to demonstrate your own personal power and dominance in your life because you won't do that for yourself. And you won't say no to her. And so if you can't say no to her because you can't have a conflict, or she talks to you in a toxic manner and you just let that slide, you have now just encouraged her to do it again next time because there was no consequence. And then if she doesn't care about that consequence and you aren't willing to walk away permanently from the relationship, then she knows she's got you. She's got your balls in a vice. She's like, I can do whatever I want because he will never leave me. Yeah, he'll complain about it and we'll have these fights, but all I have to do is just start walking away, and then he'll just chase after me and try to fix the relationship. And so this game of not having conflict, now you can have toxic conflict. And most of the times when people have a collision, they don't know how to do it in a healthy adult manner. And they'll do name calling, they'll start gaslighting, they'll start trying to hurt the other person personally. They'll start trying to deflect everything instead of taking responsibility for themselves. And if you're finding this in your relationship, if you're doing it on your own, if you're doing it to her, you got to put an end to that shit. Because you can't have a soul seductive soulmate situation with your woman if you're doing this. And if you're allowing her to do this in a relationship, it'll never get there either. Because you'll just get manipulated and taken advantage of massively. How do I know? Because this is what I do. I work with men all the time who've been cheated on. In fact, 90% of the guys who come through the Soul Seducer program, who come through genuine attraction, are dealing with some form of manipulation, lies, and betrayal. And so we got really fucking good at turning that kind of shit around. In fact, we can turn it around so fast. It's just like a spell. If you learn how to deal with the manipulation, if you know how to stop it, then on the other side of this, within like 5 or 6 days, the first couple of conversations with her, you're going to see a huge pivot in the way that she interacts with you. And then because you're hitting it from this place, now she'll start finding you more attractive. Not because you're yelling at her or having these hard collisions, but because you stand up for yourself. And again, she's going to respond to power. And that's the attractive trait that men have, is being able to leverage their own personal power. And when you don't leverage your own personal power, then she starts to see you as unattractive because you're not doing the one thing that she really wants from you to do. Can you leverage your own personal power to absolutely dominate yourself and dominate in life? Can you please just do that? And sometimes dominate me when it's appropriate. So in this game of relationships, if any of these lies that you're falling into, you're falling prey to, and you keep thinking these myths, you're just going to make it to where you can't actually connect with your woman. You're just going to be living a place of lies and manipulation and people-pleasing behavior and very, very strong codependency. In fact, that is the nature of all of these lies, is it leads you into a codependent relationship where one person can say, I can do whatever I want, I'll promise not to leave you if you let me do whatever I want. And then the other person saying like, well, I guess I have to let you do whatever you want because I don't want you to leave me. And so that's what these lies propagate. They propagate this kind of bullshit. And you can find this everywhere. Once you start to see it, you see through the matrix, you see these problems in every relationship. It is the exception that I see a healthy relationship out there. In fact, it's such the exception that it's on the rare occasion I see it once every month or so, it really stands out. It really actually it's not even that often. It's probably once every 6 months. And if you're going through a situation like this, you're dealing with a lot of manipulation, lies, and even a betrayal in your marriage, you want to turn this shit around in the next couple of weeks, click in the link below. Join either the Broken to Badass or the Soul Seducer program. Either one will do wonders for you. Turn that around really quickly. Within a couple of weeks, your mind will be in a different place. You will not feel scared anymore. Even if she's leaving you, you will get past most of the emotional pain. We'll have decoupled that. Then within a couple of months, you will be firing on all cylinders. But that is if you do what's required. Then from this place of firing on all cylinders, you will create a seductive life. And then she will see this and she'll want to be a part of it. Why? Because you're demonstrating power and dominance in your life. And she's going to be like, that's the one motherfucking thing that's been missing this whole time. Thank you for doing this. I cannot wait to join you. And then she'll reach out, and then she'll be the one to pursue the relationship. You don't have to do that game. You should never pursue the relationship. You should allow her, you should just pursue this, and then she will pursue you, which is the natural order of things. All right, brother, hope you enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more of them. And then if you have other opinions on this, definitely comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say.